Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back. So we officially have our first look at the finale. I guess not our technically not our first look at the finale. Actually, it's our first look at Negan in the finale because we haven't seen him at all from any of the trailers, the teasers, anything that they've talked about. Obviously, they've referenced that he is in the episode, but we haven't actually seen him in the episode yet. And so we actually finally have our first look at him in the episode. They released a few images and they actually are really revealing. At least a couple of them are. They do hint at storylines that have been rumored, or storylines that, I guess not rumored, but things that I thought might happen. Like we're seeing certain characters in certain places, and I'm like, okay, so I think that might actually happen in that way then. So of course, before we go any further, I do have to warn you for spoilers, obviously, for The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 15. And I don't know what it is, but seeing these pictures here, like I knew it was going to happen in that way, but as soon as we got this first look here, or these teaser images, it just really hyped me for the finale that's like in less than 2 months now. It's actually in 57 days, which is going to fly by. Like if they're releasing these images right now, again, expect a lot more stuff coming within the next, like once a week maybe stuff will be coming out, maybe a little bit more than that. Especially starting in September, they're going to have a lot of stuff coming out, and not just for The Walking Dead. They're going to be doing Fear the Walking Dead, as well as The Walking Dead World Beyond, because all of those shows are literally premiering within a week away from each other. So it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot to talk about. I think The Walking Dead season, basically for the most part, starts right now. So yeah, that's exciting. So if you want reviews and all that kind of stuff, like videos on all that on the news or anything like that related to The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead or World Beyond, just make sure to be a subscriber. And also, if you want updates and stuff like this a little bit quicker than when I do videos, just go follow me on Instagram. That's just @MusicMan on Terror Street. The link for that should be down below. But let's get into this first image here. We see Daryl. We've already seen this image several times already. We saw this when they first announced the finale was going to be postponed by however long. But this image looks great. I really do like this image of Daryl with all of the zombies. I'm sure some of them are, walkers. Some of them are probably whisperers, and this is just colored differently. There's not really, like the other images that we've seen of it, there's been more of a greenish, yellow-greenish sort of overlay, I guess you would say, right over it, and this here, it's more natural. And this is the one thing that I noticed about the episode here, is that in terms of coloring, there's actually a visible difference. It might just be me, it's just something that I've noticed, but when you actually compare the original teaser that we got to the new opening minutes or the new teaser that we got for the finale, there are little differences. Like there's this shot here of Beta. Now, if you notice his mask, you can even see in the background, it's a lot more, I guess, vibrant. You can definitely see a lot more greens. And even in his mask and his hair, there's a lot more like yellows to it. It's a lot more, I guess you could just say like vibrant. And you might not notice it now, but when I compare it to this shot here, you can definitely tell. There's a lot more grays here. Now, this first shot here, I'm guessing is when it's not that edited. Again, this could be from two different scenes. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's from the same scene. Because I'm pretty sure in this shot here, right away he does say begin or whatever. So I do think it's from the same exact scene. It's just that it's colored differently. And I think it looks a lot better. I do like the grays to it, because it looks a lot more natural. And I'm not saying I like a gray tone because I know, or a gray color grading or however, or whatever you want to call it, because I know Fear the Walking Dead does it and it doesn't look that great. I think the difference here is that this is what The Walking Dead looks like. Like typically, this is exactly what they look like. It doesn't look like this yellow here. This looks a little too vibrant. It looks a little too crazy. So you can tell that they've definitely worked on the episode. At least that's a visual difference that I've noticed anyways, is that you can tell like this looks more like The Walking Dead standard. This isn't like Fear the Walking Dead. The Fear the Walking Dead, at least season 4 and 5, it's almost, like you could almost say it's almost a black and white show. Like it's just like teetering on that. There's still enough color to the point where it's not really black and white, but it's almost that. With this, it's obviously different. This here looks a lot like The Walking Dead season 1. It has those same type of colors as the first season. So that's something that I've noticed anyways. That is a visual difference. It's a little weird. I don't know if it's just the trailer. We'll see when the episode comes out. Maybe it'll go back to this, but that is definitely something that I've noticed. And so I do love this image. I really can't wait to see this scene. I think we're not seeing a lot of Negan here because he's probably wearing his Whisperer mask. At least I'm assuming he'd be carrying it around. I don't know if he dropped it somewhere. I would have to rewatch the later half of season 10 to see exactly what he did with it. But I'm assuming he still kept it on and that it'll still come into play in the finale, right? Like, I feel like it kind of has to. I don't think he's going to want to put walker guts on or something like that. I think, first of all, he's going to have to get rid of that leather jacket, because if he doesn't want to get noticed, he's going to have to get rid of that. We then get this image here of Beta, and I imagine it's probably around the same time. Like, we see Daryl here, he's walking around, and then Beta's also in the same crowd, and he's looking around like trying to like find them, obviously. And that's creepy to me, because that's like the most terrifying thing to ever happen to them. That's why I always say this is like No Way Out on steroids, because No Way Out was obviously terrifying, but they could just dress up and or not dress up, but I guess they can just coat themselves in walker guts and go through, and they would make it through. But in this situation here, there's people mixed in. People are dressed up as walkers. So you might walk by someone who's a walker, and then boom, you're just going to get stabbed or something like that, right? Or attacked. I guess you would get stabbed. They're not going to shoot because it's going to draw a lot of attention. But like, you know what I mean? That's why seeing Beta here, I kind of feel like this scene is from that. I do think Beta is most likely, maybe even in this shot right here, he sees them. Like, he literally sees them ahead, and now he wants to start going in that direction. Because I think it's going to take a turn like that. It might look like they're making it out, but then Beta or a Whisper or someone is going to see them, and then they're going to start trying to move that way. Because they also can't run through the horde, right? If they run through the horde, then they're also screwed. So they're going to whisper and say stuff like, they're over there, this and that, and they're all going to try and move slowly in that direction. And then Daryl and Carol and them are going to be like, holy shit, okay, we gotta go. We then have this shot here, which is, again, I'm saving the best shots for last. So, I guess not again, I'm telling you this for the first time, but I am saving the best shots here for last. But we see Carol there in the back, which is like, I guess it's not our first time seeing Carol, but this does confirm that she is for sure going. And then we see Beatrice. I know her name is Beatrice now. I was saying Beatrice in the last one, but I guess it's Beatrice. But yeah, we see them all here. Now, we don't see Negan. That's the thing about it. We actually don't see Negan yet. And so, yeah, like, obviously, this isn't when they're about to leave. Or they're about to leave, but this isn't when they're going to leave. Like, because Judith is still in the room. I think Daryl's going to walk Judith back. So that's actually more context to the scene, because all the footage we've gotten so far, it looks like they've all just walked into the room, and then they just, put their walker guts on, put their whatever, and we're just going to head out. But no, it seems like they spent a little bit of time in this room. Judith is here. Daryl will walk Judith back there and say goodbye, and then they'll just watch them leave. Now, we don't see Negan here. But there's a bunch of other people in the back, and obviously one of them is Luke. One of them is Jules. We know Kelly's going to go. We know Carol, Beatrice. And now we know that 8 people are going. Like Gabriel said that in the trailer, 8 people are going out into that horde. So that's Daryl and Carol, Kelly and Beatrice. We have Luke and Jules. And then we have 2 more people, and I don't know who exactly that's going to be. Obviously, I do think that's going to be Negan. I think Negan is going to be one of them. I don't think they're going to leave him alone here. It makes sense that he would probably go with them. And also, I think story-wise, you want Negan to be out there because Beta's out there. You want to have that fight. It happens outside. They can obviously change it where it happens in the tower or inside or whatever. But I think he's going to be going out. But who is he going to go out with? That's a whole other thing. And so, yeah, whoever that 8th character is going to be, I guess we'll find out at some point here. But yeah, this is a cool shot. This is happening before the footage that we've seen from the teasers. And then we get this shot here, which is super cool. This is our first official look at Negan in the finale. And Daryl here is all dressed up, ready to go out. I don't know what they're talking about here, but if I had to guess, it would be Daryl is telling Negan that you can either stay here and you can keep your cool and whatever, or you're going to come with us. Like, I really don't know, because the thing is, where they left off in episode 14, 15, around there anyways, like, Daryl's not, like, cool with Negan. He's not just, like, accepting him now. But I think he does understand that Negan's not going to kill people. He's not really like he was. He is different. I just think Daryl can't really get over what he did, which obviously is very understandable. So I think here Daryl's like, I know who you are. I'm starting to understand you a lot more. I know you probably won't kill anyone here or try to take over this thing for yourself. I know that a lot of people are really uncomfortable with you, so you're coming with me. It could either be that, or it's more stuff to do with Alpha. Obviously, it has to be something of importance, because Daryl's not going to go and talk to Negan and just hang out, right? Like, if this was, say, Carol and Lydia, Carol and Daryl, it could just be, any type of casual conversation. But because we're seeing these two characters here, it's going to be something of importance because it just has to be with those two characters being in the same room together. This is probably him recruiting him, and he'll likely go out in the Horde. At least I'm thinking so. I'm under the assumption that Negan is gonna go out there with him, because I think it makes sense to have him out there because Beta's out there, and we want to see Beta versus Negan, right? We all want to see that fight. I think it has to happen, and so I do think he's going out there. And then the final shot here is of the, I guess, not the Commonwealth group, but the group here that is going to discover the Commonwealth right away. We see the Princess, Eugene, Yumiko, and King Ezekiel, or former King Ezekiel. I don't think he's going by King anymore, right? I think he's just Ezekiel now. This is before they find the Commonwealth. And I think what's happening here is they have just arrived, because we have a shot here of Eugene, and he looks like he's really stressed out and like crying, or I don't know if he's crying, but he always just seems like he's crying. But I think this is when he's freaking out because no one's here, and he's just like, what do we do now? Like, we came all this way, no one's here. And what if they set us up for a trap or something like that? But I think this shot here of them arriving to the train yard is when they first arrive, no one's there. And then some time goes by, and then it cuts to this shot here, and then, yeah, no one's around. And then I think at some point here is where they'll hear something, and all the Commonwealth, I'm just saying right now, the Commonwealth, they are in these train carts right here. They're waiting. So technically in this shot here, I mean, it might not be in these ones specifically, it might be in ones ahead, but I imagine they're probably surrounding the entire area. The Commonwealth troops are here. They are literally in this photo here. They're just behind this, or inside, I guess. They are around. They're just waiting to scope out, I guess, who these four characters are, or I guess who Eugene is, because they heard Stephanie. It isn't just Stephanie waiting here for them. They overheard Stephanie. They're like, "What? Who are you talking to? Who are you trying to bring to our community?" And like, that they could be a threat. And so obviously they're gonna go with her, and that's why all these troops are here. And they're not expecting that. They're just expecting Stephanie. So that's what to expect in the finale. That's probably gonna happen early on. I don't think it'll be the last minutes of the episode, but it very much could be. Maggie could be here, or Maggie might be somewhere else. I really don't know. That's just a big question mark, is how is Maggie returning, with the Commonwealth or separately? That's obviously, we've seen her return. Her return was almost like a flashback because we saw her reaction to getting the letter. So that might have happened, I guess, before Alpha even died, right? I would like to see Maggie interact with some Whisperers, just because, then she's kind of involved in the storyline at least a little bit. I think would be kind of cool, but post all your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking about all of this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.